Yeah.
And then it was like my nightly routine.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, I have more questions about that,
Yeah.
but before we begin, I wanted to show you, which we kind of have begun, by the way. I wanted to show you something because, you know, a lot of people that may be watching this are saying, oh my God, not another drag queen, Phoebe. You know, I've now had 3
Not
on the
another.
show, not
Oh.
another. There are more out there, trust me.
Plenty more.
Plenty more.
I am Wonder, and this is Kiki by Mischief Lords.
But I wanted to talk about drag because, you know, a lot of people that I grew up with specifically are very against it. But meanwhile, I actually wore this outfit to a church event about in 2023. And this is me dressing as Schitt's Creek.
Daddy, oh my God.
This has not been the first time either. It probably will not be the
It
last.
shouldn't be.
As you can see here, I am drinking a Modelo. I do have a fake mustache. I spent most of the time on the eyebrows. My eyebrows are big, but I made them bigger because it was, what's his name from Schitt's Creek? David. You know, David
Yes,
Rose.
yes.
He was my favorite, and I made Shift the rings. It was a great grand
Get into
old
the club
time.
doubles, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
men, women, they all loved it.
And-
okay.
yeah.
And for some reason, me wearing a man's oversized jacket, and by the way, my husband's pants today because nothing else was clean.
Exactly.
No one would bat their little eyes about it, you know? And every time I have cross-dressed, it has been in a church. It has been in a church. So if you're not comfortable with this, obviously you're not going to be comfortable with this, but I think you're missing out. And honestly, I think you kind of already accept it.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
my little thing. So I want to show that I'm part of the community.
No, it's so cool. It's so good. Honestly,
Thank you.
I think if more people would just like experiment with drag and like dressing up and stuff, I think so many people would have so much more fun. That's like a big part of why I love drag, is because it kind of like keeps the magic alive of like when you're a kid playing like dress up or pretend or whatever. And you know, as people like get older and age and mature, I don't know, I just find that like a lot of people stop playing pretend and stop playing dress up. And
Yeah.
for me, I don't know, that was just never a thing that I ever really grew out of. I was always stuck in my own little fantasy world, like imagining whatever. I've probably spent like 75% of my like youthhood like daydreaming.
Yes. And ain't that just the best? You know, it really
Head
is.
lost in the clouds,
Yeah.
like not a care to the world. So that's like part of why I think people should like dress up more, get like more in touch with that like childhood like magic and
Yeah.
just have fun.
Yeah. Well, it's already there. Like, so I've been a nanny for many, many years. I started babysitting when I was 11. I'm now 29. And the thing I love the most is that children specifically are able to think outside of the box. They are the best creative thinkers because they haven't been told what the world is yet.
Exactly.
They are making it up as they go.
Nobody's really like set the parameters in stone for
Exactly,
them yet. Yeah.
exactly. And the great thing about being an adult is when you start to think about who was I when I was young and what did I actually like before everybody else told me what I should like, or before I started to perceive how I was being perceived by the world. What did I want? And that's helped me figure out so much about myself.
Absolutely.
And a lot of
like,
people don't do that. So
people talk a lot about like connecting with that like inner child, and I feel like a lot of times people can like take it the wrong way. They're like, oh, you need to connect with them in terms of like, I'm trying to find like the right way to like put everything into words.
Yeah.
I'm very beautiful to look at, but sometimes the brain cells are like, okay, I have a thought here and a thought here, and then we're just not gonna do.
Hey, listen, they hire
you.
you for the looks, Hunter. You know, what can we say? Well, my queen of the forest, you have a little forest on you, so I'm gonna grab it. I have
thank
no idea what
you.
that is, but over there for good luck.
We have a wish.
Yes, we have a wish, and now we've officially started. So I need to
Exactly.
know, what is your name, what do you do, and where did you grow up?
So my name is Dakota Del Rey. By night, I am this like 7.5 foot tall, beautiful woman. And by day, I am a bank teller.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Okay, how much of the bank teller people know that you are
Oh my gosh.
Dakota Del Rey?
Let me think. I would say probably most of them.
Okay.
Which I was very shocked by because, I don't know, people kind of like have weird misconceptions about like drag queens and drag artists in general and kind of like what they're like. The second that all of this comes off, I am probably the most normal person in the world. Like, I'm very introverted. Like, I very much keep to myself. I have, like, a very, very small group of, like, close friends. Everyone that, like, I've kind of come in contact with and they've heard me almost always talk about how much I love drag and like all of that before I show them, because that's my way of kind of like testing the waters a little bit. And then, you know, if they're interested, I'll be like, oh, well, here you go.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I do. Like, I created this.
What reaction do you get from people when you're like, hello, this is also me? Like,
a lot of people are very, very shocked, which I appreciate. They almost like can't believe it that like I'm that person and also this person at the same time.
Yeah.
Most of the comments that I get are very much like, you look great, you're beautiful. A lot
as
of
they
times,
should, as they should.
Exactly.
Yes.
A lot of times you'll hear, and it's almost always like a middle-aged straight woman just be like, oh my gosh, I can't do my makeup that good. And I'm like, girl, listen, I get paid to look like this.
Yeah.
So like I have to be good at what I do, you know?
Yeah.
But
it's still nice to hear, though. It's sweet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you can never stroke a drag queen's ego too much.
Never. Well, you came to the right place because I love to give a compliment.
Exactly.
I love
See,
it.
I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Well, I want to know more about where this got started for you.
Yeah.
So going back to your hometown. Oh, by the way, where did you grow up?
Oh, I grew up right here in Sarasota, Florida.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
born
Well,
and
let's get
raised.
into it. Okay. So going back to your hometown days, could you describe what 7th grade Dakota Del Rey was like?
So in middle school, I was in the band. I played clarinet. Ooh. So,
Why clarinet?
girl, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
You were gifted it. Okay.
Exactly. You know, I didn't choose the clarinet chose me. You know, I was playing in band, I was in theater at school. Theater has always been like a really big part of my life. I've always like really just enjoyed all aspects of it. Growing up, I always really did like a lot of like arts and crafts. Like, I don't know if you can be like good at arts and crafts, but like,
I think you
arts
can.
and crafts time,
Yeah.
that was my shit. Like, I knew I was going in there and like I was gonna fuck some shit up. Like, I knew when it was art class or arts and crafts time, Dekota was on the way. I have 2 older brothers. One's 4 years older than me, one's 2 years older than me. And growing up, both of my brothers were really involved in like sports and stuff. That was not me. I was the music, the arts, all of that. I don't want to say that I was like a loner growing up, because like I wasn't ever lonely. I was just very comfortable being by myself.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that I've always had, is I'm very comfortable in the silence. I'm very comfortable in the stillness. There's this SNL skit, and it is this boy's toy, and it's like
The well.
the well.
The well.
The well.
Yes,
I
the
am
boy
the
in
little
the
boy with the well.
But some just long to be understood. Introducing wells for sensitive little boys to wish upon, confide in, and reflect by. Some boys live unexamined lives, but this one's heart is full of questions.
I am the melancholy little boy just sitting there on the well. Like, I've very much been a free spirit, like,
Yeah.
all my life. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it. And if you don't like that, sorry. And so I've definitely just kind of floated all around and like dug my hand in a little bit of everything. I'm also a Sagittarius, so I feel like that explains a lot.
For those of like listening that don't know what that means, what do you connect with that?
So
with Sagittarius.
I know some people think it's a little like hokey pokey or whatever.
I'm a little bit in between. I want to know, but I'm not going to base my life off of it. You know what I mean?
No,
but
I want to know what's going on with the energies. I
tell
consider
me.
myself like tapped in, but not like tuned in. I'm not like my frequency isn't always on, but I'm like when I need to grab it,
it's there for you.
Exactly.
Right? Maybe to like give you some clarity.
Yeah. Our sign is they're known as like the adventurer, the philosopher, the whatever of the zodiac. We're the kind of sign that's always seeking for more out of life, whether that be the next adventure or like uncovering one of life's big mysteries or whatever.
Ooh.
In whatever way that like comes to you. Oh, if you wanted to hold hands, you could have just asked. But
I'll be on the second half. Anyways, you were saying, so we're looking for adventure. We're looking for the next thing.
Extroverted introverts. Sagittarians.
Okay, yeah.
I think we're very introspective and wistful, but we're the thrill seekers of life. We want to know and figure out everything that life has to offer us, and then go on and teach that to other people. And I think I've always been like a really gifted like teacher. So yeah, I feel like in my heart of hearts, I am probably like the purest Sagittarius there is. Like yeah.
Okay, nice. So in 7th grade, we're doing the crafts, we're doing the arts, we're doing the flute.
Clarinet.
The clarinet, thank you. Bad with remembering names of instruments. I will get better. And then also, as I know for me, when I was around like the age of 13 or so, like YouTube was coming out, was huge. And my siblings didn't get necessarily the same thing as me because I'm the youngest of a big family. And I would love to know what you were thrill seeking on YouTube at the time and who you connected with.
Oh my goodness. So for me, YouTube was really like just a huge part of me discovering like who I was as a person in terms of like the things that make me laugh, the types of music that I like. The middle school age is really the most like formative ages for a person's like personality, I believe, especially as they evolve into adulthood. I was just like trying to discover myself because growing up, I don't want to say I didn't have a lot of like exposure to a lot of different types of like music or stuff like that, because I definitely did, but like my parents were listening to like 80s and 90s country and like Metallica and AC/DC and like that vibe. So growing up, I got all of that music, and then it was kind of up to me to discover the pop divas, the rap divas, the rap legend, like all this kind of stuff. And so I was looking up, like obsessively watching music videos, just like every single music video I could find. And then because this age is like such a big coming of age time, I actually came out in the summer between 7th and 8th grade. So this was like right around the time that I was like really kind of discovering everything. And I had already known like, okay, I know that I'm different from like other people my age, but you don't really have the correct vernacular to be able to describe exactly it is what you're feeling. And you also don't have the maturity to know like, hey, this is a rough part of everybody's life. Like everyone goes through big changes here. And so for me, a lot of what I was doing is looking for like just queer content on YouTube. Like I didn't want to say that like I was gay if I didn't fully know what that meant, but I also knew that I wasn't straight. So like for me, it was just like digging into these big like heaps of like filing cabinets of papers and just like digging until I found the file that was like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And so
you were finding the info.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, you were exploring,
like,
you were adventuring.
That's very much a common like theme throughout my life is like I like to get all of the information available. And then I like to make my decision. Like once I make my decision, I'm very like, this is my decision, I'm gonna stand on it.
Yeah.
But like I like to be as well informed as possible over any choice that I have to make before I have to make it.
So knowing that you used YouTube as a form of like exploration and information, is there anything specifically that stuck out to you that you're like, oh my God, I cannot be straight after seeing this? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Oh my gosh. So there's two very specific things. One, I'm going to get the shorter one out of the way.
Okay.
Because I feel like the second one is going to like carry on into the rest of our conversation. There was this YouTuber who I had the biggest crush on. He was very, very niche. His name is Travis Bryant. He would just make all sorts of like content just like about his life. Like there would be a lot of story times where he would, you know, delve into things that like had happened to him, and like he went through his coming out story and all of that. And so that was one of the first things that I really connected with specifically, was like watching his coming out story video. I don't know how aware you were of it at this time on YouTube, but 2015 to probably like 2018, people were doing a lot of like their coming out videos, and they were like sitting down and recording them. And I just remember a lot of those videos like really spoke to me. Travis Bryant's, Connor Franta's, Joey Graceffa's, like those were a lot of the videos where I first was like, okay, one, I see people like me. I see people that think the same way that I do. Yeah, so then it just kind of went from there. Thank you, Travis Bryant, for welcoming me to the world of queerdom, I guess.
I know. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
That's the thing about the algorithm, and you never know what's going to show you.
Exactly. And like for me, that's how I discovered a lot of the things that I did discover, is like I had no idea how a YouTube algorithm worked. So I was just like, oh wait, here's one video. It has all of these other videos over here. Why wouldn't I just click on one of those?
Right.
So like I just click, and then I'd follow down the rabbit hole and just keep on clicking away. And
so for your surroundings then, growing up in Sarasota, could you describe like, is it small town, big town? Like what's the vibe, and what did you have access to around you, not necessarily just online?
I think it really depends what area of Sarasota you grow up in. One of my favorite things about Sarasota is how diverse it is. There are so many different communities. The theater and like physical art community here in Sarasota is something that is unparalleled in my opinion. Down by the bay, we have the big like art festivals, and we put up all the pieces of artwork while people like walk down through Marina Jack and all of that. We have some of the most like regional theaters like in the entire United States, outside of like your big theater capitals like Chicago and New York and stuff like that. Like the Oslo Repertory here, we've had people that were like on Broadway during their off season. They come down here and they do shows at the Oslo. So like I think Sarasota is such a rich melting pot of so many different types of people. Knowing like my family and stuff, who's very involved in like farming and agriculture and stuff like that, that's a like completely different side of Sarasota, and those two communities don't often interact with each other.
So you got kind of both growing up.
That's also a very like common theme within my life. I don't want to say I'm always in the middle ground, as in like I can't ever make a choice, but I'm always in the middle ground of like I like both of these things, and I'm not gonna force myself to choose between the two because I know I can have them both. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go do yoga for 6 hours, but I'm also gonna chain smoke cigarettes. Like, it's about the give and take.
And you can't judge us on that, okay? Lest you be judged.
Exactly.
Lest you be judged. Under the makeup and under the costumes and the performances, what type of people make up the drag community?
Every kind of person that you could possibly think of. Drag, at its core, is for everybody. Anyone can do it. It doesn't matter if you're 4.5 feet tall. It doesn't matter if you're 7 feet tall. It doesn't matter if you're 300 pounds. It doesn't matter if you're 45. Anyone can do drag. Trans man, trans woman, cis man, cis woman, non-binary. However you identify, you can do drag. That's what I love so much about being involved in the community. I love drag shows, not for performing. Don't get me wrong, I love to perform, I love to be in drag. The best drag show of any night is always going to be happening in the dressing room. Drag queens are, I don't want to just limit it to drag queens, drag artists in general, are probably some of the most just heinous individuals you will ever have the pleasure or displeasure of knowing. Like, we are the societal grifters. We're like the weirdos. We were all the kids who never had friends in school. So then we found our own friends. And then we became all the popular kids. Now it's like the weirdest, awkward kids you could ever think of are now at the top of the food chain.
Well, it's like a community with different rules all of a sudden,
Yeah,
right? Like if you don't fit into the binary of like a school system or a church system or whatever society you are in and you feel ousted at, that is why countercultures exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love drag so much for the fact that it brings so many different people of so many backgrounds together. One of my closest drag sisters, she's a trans woman who came from the backwoods of West Virginia.
Wow.
And so, like, that's just one background. My drag mother, Eris the doll, she comes from, like, the middle of, like, Georgia. So she's, like, your, like, true Southern peach. And she was kind of, like, raised in a smaller town, and now she's a beautiful trans woman who does drag like full-time for her career. Straight people. I know of a drag queen who formerly used to live down here, and then I believe she moved to Ohio, but she fully had a wife and 2 kids.
Traditional seeming life.
Yeah,
And then
just dressed up and like did drag.
And what were some of the day jobs you know of that they would do?
So one of my other friends actually used to work at Wells Fargo. I know a drag queen who is an EMT by day.
Yes. Oh my God. Amazing.
I know drag queens who are massage therapists, who are real estate agents. There's so many people that you would never even think of. You're never gonna expect your anesthesiologist to be popping on a wig and some heels after they
Your
just
dentist.
loaded. Right.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would though. So people argue that drag performers are disrespectful to womanhood. So behind the drag curtain, as they say, how does your community speak about women, and why do you choose women as your personas?
Every single drag artist that I am around, that I hold in my company, are at the very like base level, we love women. I don't know. I think women are fantastic. I think women are the driving force behind the culture. Women are the reason that, like, gay men like me get to sit here on this couch and have a conversation with you. Without women's rights and, like, the women's rights movements, we wouldn't have, like, the rights that we have today as, like, queer people. I think a lot of people who say that drag is, like, inherently misogynistic or we're making fun of women, I deeply implore them to have one conversation with a drag artist, because they will tell you just how much they truly love and appreciate women. I could talk on and on and on, because this is like, it's one of my biggest pet peeves in drag, when people say like you're making a mockery of women. No, like, me getting up on stage dressed as a woman is me showing my appreciation for you as you are. The women in my life are the biggest driving forces behind my drag. Like, my best friend, she and I have worked together on the vast majority of, like, the mixes that I do. Like, even when it just comes to, like, fashion and, like, putting an outfit together, my mom was the one who, like, got me started and interested into fashion. And then from there, because of my love of, like, what she was showing me and what I was seeing and all of that, and, like, my love for her combined is kind of, like, all culminates into the way that I craft my drag. So I would say that my drag at its core is a love letter to women. And because I think women are great.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Women are fantastic.
I'm okay. I'm all right. Yeah. I'm working on it, you know. Well, okay, so what do you think is a driving force? Like, what do drag queens specifically love about women? Like, why do they choose them as their personas? Why do they use the big makeup and all that?
I think drag queens specifically enjoy dressing up as women because women were gifted the ability to show emotion and express themselves more freely than men are, especially queer men. And so this is just speaking strictly from like my own experience, is being able to embrace your inner femininity, when oftentimes growing up as like a gay man, we are told being feminine is bad, like the way that you feel is bad. So being able to kind of lean into it full tilt is something that's so freeing. I think women are gifted the ability to be more emotional and like show that side of themselves.
Expressive.
Exactly, expressive. And so I think that also goes hand in hand with like big, bold makeup and outfits and wigs and all of that. Is it just goes down to self-expression, and I think femininity lends itself a lot to the way that feels the most comfortable for us to express themselves. Femininity obviously exists outside of womanhood, and yeah.
What I would say to that, for my perspective, is if I go to a drag show and I look at 5 queens come out with beautiful, gorgeous big hair and like a bustier and like glitter coming out of every orifice, I think to myself, oh, this is what men think women are. So to me, it can kind of become a play on like, men, this is what you think is attractive. Well, let's play it up and show you exactly what we're going to give you.
And I mean,
you know?
That kind of like goes hand in hand with like all the different types of drag that there are and the way that those drag artists choose to express themselves. For me, my drag persona is like, I'm very inspired by like 90s supermodels and like dark fantasy movies and video games and stuff like that. So like I don't pad, because for me, I kind of want to look distinctly feminine, but also like a little otherworldly.
Yeah.
Like for me, the pinnacle of getting into drag, every time I get into drag, I want to look like and give the energy off that Galadriel gives from Lord of the Rings.
I love,
like, I just want to be like a little unsettling, like, so I think that also goes into what you were talking about of like, if this is what men think women are, let's go like full tilt. And so that's why a lot of these drag queens are out here wearing big like triple stacked wigs and giant breastplates and itty bitty cinched waists and giant pads. It all just goes to like how you want to play with your expression.
You know, we've had a lot of questions over the last 5 years specifically of what is a woman? And it's like, you know what? It is not such a straightforward question when you start to break it down. So it's like, actually, maybe we should just
What is a woman, but also what isn't a woman?
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about.
If you want to tell me what a woman is or isn't, tell me what a man is or isn't.
Yeah, right.
Why are we so hung up on the
formality
of it? Why can't people just be?
I don't know, because people can't control. People cannot control that, and they don't like it.
Even before I realized, like, what queerness was, or that I was, like, involved in queerness in any sort of way, I've always just kind of been like, do whatever you want to do. What you want to do has no effect on me.
And also, if someone else makes you feel so uncomfortable with yourself, you have to question why. Just
Why
sit
is that
there.
making me uncomfortable?
Right. And say, someone else's freedom makes me feel tight. That is a deeper issue.
Yeah.
A deeper issue that I have experienced myself and wondered. It is so free to just let people shine with who they want to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's like the most beautiful thing.
Let people show you who they are. Don't make up like preconceived notions about
Don't tell
what
them
you,
who they
exactly.
are. Yeah.
I don't know. I also feel like that helps me go into life with like no expectations. I don't really have expectations for a lot of things. Expectations are premeditated resentments. When you go into any sort of situation with this is how this is gonna go, the second that that thing doesn't happen that you thought was gonna happen, you're automatically resenting it. So like, let's say you didn't give me this glass of wine, and I say I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna expect a glass of wine or beverage or anything. The second that you don't offer that, I'm already resenting you. You know?
Yeah.
So
you're
I'm
not
like,
living up to an expectation.
right.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's also unfair to other people to have that expectation put upon them when most of the time they don't know that that expectation is there.
Unspoken rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so for me, I've just found like a lot of the stress of my life goes away when I say, yes, I'm going to have this experience, and this experience is going to go however it needs to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ever since I've kind of like adopted that mentality, my life has been a lot more stress-free. I don't find myself feeling like jaded or bitter. This is coming from someone who literally used to like sit there and marinate in my room and being like like dying. Just like adopting that sort of like ideology of don't have any expectations, like kind of like throw caution to the wind and like have fun.
Yeah. And not in a way of like, not caring about your life.
Right.
It's not caring what other people perceive you as and not putting any preconceived notions on others.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
because people are always going to have an opinion on you that is different than your own opinion of you. And every single person is going to have a different opinion because every single person gets a slightly different version of you. They perceive you in different ways. So, yeah.
So you're going to lose and win with some people anyways. You might as well do something that you feel comfortable in.
Absolutely. And I'd rather lose or win my way than anyone else's.
Amen. And all other people said. So speaking of powerful women, could you share with us your personal pop culture icons and how they've inspired you?
Ooh, okay. For me, obviously number one, Lana Del Rey.
Yes.
During like late 8th grade to like the summer going into high school and stuff is when I really like discovered her music. It was the first time that I ever like truly connected with the lyrical content that an artist was delivering. For me, my favorite part of any music, anything, is the lyrics. I love wordplay. I've always loved literature. I was really good at English in school. I love sitting there and like deconstructing things and like finding the meaning and all of that. And so with Lana, so much of her music is just like chock full of like literary devices and like I connected with the imagery that she is able to use. Whatever she's singing about, she can like immediately transport you there with her writing.
Yes.
Like if you really pay attention to the lyrics, you are getting every single piece of like exposition you need for the song. Yeah.
I remember growing up too. I think she's one of the people that had a song on The Great Gatsby when it came out.
And beautiful. She delivers everything with such a like glamour and
it's very like 50s Kennedy's like shine to her.
So like
Americana.
It's so Americana.
Yeah.
It's like the smoky, hazy, like tobacco smoking lounge.
She's very docile in a way with her voice. Like it's very like soothing and like melodramatic, but in the same way it's very powerful, which like, again, the duality of those personalities. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like in my life in general, duality is such a big thing. I know many people it's not their favorite body of work by her, but Lust for Life, I love because it's the duality of she has these such like light, airy vocals that just like float over the track. But then you have, like, on a lot of the songs, this very, like, heavy, like, trap beat.
Yeah.
And it's, like,
Yeah.
the hi-hat and the snare. And to me, that mixture is so enticing. Because you wouldn't expect them to go together, and then they do. And you're just like,
Yeah.
yeah. She is not afraid to take up space.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful.
And that is something that I love, which is why I think a lot of, like, the LGBT community really kind of, like, picks a pop diva to kind of, like, rally around. We are so attracted to, like, strong women and people who aren't afraid to take up space and use their voice. I mean, think Lady Gaga. Chapel Roan, Madonna, like thinking of
Beyonce.
exactly
Yeah.
thinking of like some of the greats. Every single one of these women are women who have never been afraid to really say, no, I'm here, you're going to pay attention to me, I'm going to make myself unavoidable, and you're going to deal with it, which is what I love.
Whether you want to be or not, most people very intoxicated by that type of confidence.
Absolutely.
It is hard to look away. And then too, could you tell us what outfit you love the most of like a campaign for Lana Del Rey?
Number one, always and forever, she has this full like olive green jumpsuit for her Gucci Guilty campaign. She did it with Jared Leto. They both look so hot in that campaign. That, for me, was really, like, the first, like, head-to-toe look of Lana's where I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
For me, the things that make an outfit in general aren't just, like, the pieces of the outfit. It's the way that it's, like, stylized and accessorized. Fashion is my favorite part of drag. I like being able to tell a story through clothing. So that look of Lana's was really the first where I was like, this is something that I know I am going to think about forever and ever and ever. Another one is, it's not necessarily, like, a big, like, fashion moment from her, but she has this very, very famous, like, Ferrari, like, leather racing jacket. I want it so bad. I want it so bad. And then, of course, I mean, I feel like I can't bring up, like, Lana and fashion if I didn't bring up the 2017 Met Gala. The theme was Heavenly Bodies.
Right.
And she had, like, this big old, like, winged headpiece, and she had, like, this heart piece here that had, like, these 3 swords going into it. I believe she showed up with Jared Leto that year as well. I think it was the same year they did the Gucci Guilty.
Oh, damn. All right. They were going out and doing shit.
Yeah.
My thing for Lana Del Rey that I love is I'm also a huge Billie Eilish fan.
Yeah.
And I'm a little older than her, so it's kind of funny because it's like I fangirled over her when she was like younger and I was a little older, but I was just like, I don't know, there was just something about her I'm so attracted to.
Yeah.
And then seeing her on stage at, I think it was Coachella, and then having her have Lana Del Rey come on stage and then just like first paying homage, but also like allowing both of them to be their own person.
Right.
And then be able to collaborate on that. Also, Lana Del Rey coming in on a motorcycle. Hello. That is how I would like to enter every room. Someone sent me something from a church where a guy was coming down from the ceiling.
That day is going to come when the sky is cracked and Jesus Christ comes again.
And I was like, if I could enter a room like
Every
that,
time. Are you
I
kidding?
would.
Are you kidding? The unparalleled drama and attention that I could get from that.
We could work that out. Maybe we could work it out. Okay.
I'm into that.
I'm putting this away for later. There's been like 10 things you've said, by the way, that I'm
Put
like,
it in the Rolodex.
put it in the back. As someone who is type 1 diabetic, is drag easy?
I can only begin to describe drag in general as Miss Trunchbull's closet from Matilda. That's like the big like Iron Maiden. Being in drag feels like being inside of that Iron Maiden. It is a full body, just like a Hurt Locker. Like, I have shit glued to my eyeballs. My eyebrows are currently plastered flat to my face.
Right.
Like, I shaved every inch of my body. I have a wig squeezing my brain out. Like, the drag is painful, drag is exhausting, but like the payoff is so worth it. I will say, as someone who is a type 1 diabetic, having autoimmune deficiencies, I feel like people really kind of look over like just how severely they do affect you.
Yeah. Well, you can't see it.
Exactly,
right?
because they are the invisible disabilities. Like my blood sugar could be low or high right now, and you wouldn't know. There's no way to like really tell that. Existing in spaces where a lot of the time things are so on the go And a lot of times people just kind of
gloss over that.
Yeah.
Or could you give me an example of like what that looks like as an extra step that you have to take as a precaution or whatever,
Yeah.
maybe before a show?
I have this continuous glucose monitor
Hey,
here
there
on my
it
arm.
is.
It hooks up to my phone, and so it like just gives me constant readings. So I really just monitor that pretty closely during my shows. I'll typically try and like have a little bit of a snack before, just because I know from like the physical exercise of like being on stage, it's gonna send my blood sugar lower.
Right.
But I mean, it also comes down to like when you're packing for drag, you have to pack things that other people aren't thinking about. Your insulin, you're packing needles for your insulin pens, you're packing a backup of your glucose monitor in case your glucose monitor falls off or anything like that. You're having to pack snacks and juice boxes in case your blood sugar does go low. So it's all of these extra things that like you have to think about on top of all of the things that you're already thinking about with
Right.
drag. It's kind of like having to like take your one brain and make it like a brain and a half.
Yep, so many things to think of,
Yeah,
which a
and
lot
it's
of
like-
women also can relate to.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
there's just so many different little moving parts. Like one with diabetes and two with drag, and then you put both of those things into the same room, and it's like
Yeah. You have to love what you do.
yeah,
You have to.
love what you do.
You do.
I truly don't think that you could be in drag for one full night if you did not love it. Drag is painful. I'm currently wearing like 6-inch stiletto platforms just to sit down, but like imagine, having to walk through downtown like this.
No, I can't. I was very blessed to have long legs at a young age. And I
Yeah.
remember like wearing heels a couple times and saying, you know what? All the men are going to be upset that I'm wearing them anyways and towering over them. And I hate the way they make my feet feel because it sucks. Okay, it is modern torture in
Yeah.
my mind. So to see you guys do that, and then some people doing like splits and cartwheels.
Performing, running like up and down on the
What?
Yeah.
How? Oh my.
It's just the unmitigated like nerve and gall for us to do all of the crazy shit that we're doing in all of these heels. I think it's just like the universe is like, okay, you have so much nerve, I'm not gonna make you fall right now.
Yeah.
Like I will let you be safe.
The confidence holds you up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting.
It's my buffer.
Are you ready? Are you ready for his return?
Okay, there we go.
I mean, listen, you got a drag queen in here to talk about her favorite subject, herself.
I know, and I have like 6 pages of stuff too.
Oh, yay!
Okay, so continuing on, as we know, being a type 1 diabetic makes it a little harder. What are drag queens, especially those who maybe don't come from a wealth background, expected to orchestrate and design?
In general, drag queens are expected to have something new all the time. That's not just a new outfit, that's new hair, it's new jewelry, it's new shoes. Like, we constantly have to be reinventing ourselves and outdoing ourselves. And when you don't really have expendable income to really spend on drag like that, it becomes a lot harder, because as entertainers, we're definitely always wanting to like keep our audiences entertained, and we don't want to keep giving them the same things over and over. But then you also have to find that middle ground of like, how am I not putting myself into severe debt
Right.
while still doing things that
Maybe look fresh or new.
look fresh
Yeah.
or inspire me. I mean, the majority of drag queens honestly are living like poverty level.
Yeah.
Like, drag is expensive, drag is hard, and it takes a very long time and like a lot of hard work and effort for drag to really start finally paying off.
It's
And
a labor
so-
of love.
Absolutely
Yeah.
it is. And so for the drag queens who maybe don't have that sort of like expendable income, it comes down to really being really resourceful, which is something that I pride myself on. A lot of my drag is made from thrifting and like upcycling old clothes. Like, my sister-in-law, she'll be like going through her closet and she'll find something that she just doesn't wear anymore, and she's like, hey, do you want this? And I'm like, I don't see any use for this specific piece of clothing, but let me get out a pair of scissors and my sewing machine and let's
Yes.
see what I can turn it into. And so like for me, this used to be just like a plain white dress, and then I was like, I need a Halloween look and
Yeah.
didn't have any money. And so I got like a few little packs of like this fake moss from the store, and then all the rest of this is eyeshadow.
Amazing. Well, I can tell too in this area, like you have to sew that together, I would imagine. Like it didn't start that way.
You have to like sit there and rouge it. And,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you started drag out roughly around 17 to 18 years old. So how did you manage to get into 21 plus spaces? And are there any specific stories that represent that time in your life?
I dropped out of high school my junior year. It was spring of my junior year. I immediately started working. I got my GED and all of that stuff. So I was literally just working, and I had like all of this money to spend on drag. And so I started getting into drag, and I would literally just drive to the clubs and walk in. I don't think it necessarily counts as sneaking in if they don't ID you. So
I think you're right. Should have asked. Never know if you don't ask.
If you would have asked, you would have found out. But you didn't ask, and I got in anyway. But for me, it wasn't ever like, oh, I want to go clubbing. It was like, no, bitch, I'm here to watch the drag show. I am here to learn. I am here to network. And that's it. These bitches are booked. These bitches are where I want to be. So I'm going to sit on stage as someone who has never performed in drag before. I'm going to go to the drag show, and I'm going to watch the girls who are booked and see what they're doing and make the connections.
Is there any night that like stuck out to you as like, oh my gosh, this was crazy or this was amazing?
Ooh, so actually the night of my 20th birthday.
And then you propel yourself forward.
And then you just lie to yourself the rest of the night.
Amen.
I'm not anxious.
I'm not anxious. I'm just feeling myself.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so talking about that, your performance style is sultry, and might I say a little sassy sexy.
But of course.
Yes. So how did you build up the confidence to share so much of yourself on stage?
Honestly, great question, because outside of drag, I grew up very, very insecure. I've always been like rail thin. I've always been like really like awkward, gangly, I guess. And so I moved through the world very, I don't want to say like uncomfortable in my own body, but it's like, it's when you see a puppy that has paws that are too big for it, and it kind of like trips over them a little.
You stick out. You stick out, yeah.
And emotionally, I have like filled myself out a lot more. And I feel like a lot of that came from being on stage and like just showing like so much of my body, because I do show so much body when I am on stage. You know, you are performing on stage for people. People are going to see your body, whether you want them to like analyze it or not. That's what they're going to do. So are you going to be up on stage feeling insecure in yourself? Or are you just going to go up on stage and just be blindly confident? Because I don't know about you, I don't want to see an unconfident drag queen on stage.
No.
Through the pretending of like, yeah, I'm the hottest bitch in here. Like, I'm confident. I know exactly what I'm doing. It just kind of like came second nature. A lot of what I hear frequently is like, oh, you're so confident. You come across very like sure of yourself, which I think is very weird because I am constantly second guessing my choices. When people believe that confidence, it's kind of hard for you to not believe it yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of my confidence in who I am outside of drag stems from me finding that in drag.
So what was it like going on stage for like the first few times and like having to face that? And then how did you get to this place now?
I think definitely for the first few times going on stage, you have no idea what you're doing. Unless you have a really, really like extensive background in performance. I feel like when you're in drag and you're on stage for the first time, you are kind of fighting for your life for that 3.5 minutes. There's so much to take in. You're on the stage with the music and the stage lights, and then there's all of these people in front of you, and they want to give you money, and you have to solve the equation of how do I get to everyone while also performing the song, while also like
keeping up with the beat.
Exactly,
yeah.
and making it make sense and telling the story. Like, there's a lot of like mental math that you have to do for it to finally be like, okay, yeah. It just takes a lot of practice, really, and just just kind of going up on stage, performing the songs that you connect with the most. Because you can always tell when someone loves their song, and you can tell when someone doesn't like their song.
Why does someone choose a song they don't like?
Right?
I don't get that.
You can tell if someone's like really just like connecting with the music, or if they're just like, yeah, I chose this song because it was just one that was off the top of my head.
Well, you know what that tells me too is like, you might not know who you are off the stage, but you got to figure out who you are in this outfit, in this time and space. So whether you want it or not, people are looking, and you're now up there, not like theater where there's usually someone else like playing off of your energy.
But there's like set design.
Yeah, it is just you. You are the set design.
You and a stage and a spotlight.
Right. You are the secondary character and the main character. You were doing it all. It would force you, I would imagine, to figure it out pretty quick.
Absolutely. When you're performing for an audience, there's really always two things that I like to keep in mind. Number one, the audience is always on your side. The audience wants to see you do well. The audience wants you to be entertaining. The audience wants to be entertained. No one's in the audience hoping that you fall on your ass. No one's doing that. And number two is like, here we go again, having another brain fart.
Blondes.
Literally completely.
Yeah.
And then the other part is the audience is stupid.
Yes.
They will not know what you are doing on stage unless you spell it out for them. If you're presenting a character or a concept on stage and that is unclear, they're not gonna get it because they don't understand what your point of view is. They don't understand what the concept is supposed to be. If you don't have those few things like really set in stone, the audience just isn't gonna get it. Most of drag is thinking and like planning your things for when you're on stage. I would say probably 95% of the time that I'm awake and not in drag, I'm thinking about drag.
Yes.
I'm thinking about coloring a wig. I'm thinking about making a new mix. I'm thinking about going to a show. From the moment that I wake up in the morning to the moment that I go to bed at night, drag is the only thing on my mind.
Which goes to show it's a very thoughtful art piece because you have to be the dictator and mentor, whatever you want to call it, of every aspect of it. Also, I said dictator, I meant director. Okay, we're working up to it.
You're director,
you might be a dictator of yourself. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
Dakota runs a tight ship.
Dakota do be doing that. Yeah, okay, good to know.
I don't play no game.
So, what do you say to anyone who doesn't understand why you as a man would perform in this way?
3 words. You could never. Genuinely. No, people who are like uncomfortable or like can't wrap their minds around the fact that like, why would you want to dress up as the opposite gender or whatever?
I would never know.
Why not?
I would never know. It's fun.
Exactly.
It's so fun.
Like, why would you want to dress up as the other gender? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like, just once. For Halloween. Go out in Halloween drag. Can't tell you how many drag queens get born on Halloween.
So many. So many. We have
like,
Halloween to thank for so many drag queens.
Exactly. And it goes back to like one of the things that I said earlier of like, it's about like reconnecting with that inner child and like bringing that childlike wonder to the forefront again. Just have fun.
Yeah. Well, that's such a huge thing for me. I love to have fun.
Exactly. Like, just have fun. And to the people who might have anything to say about like cross-dressing or anything like that, okay. Cross-dressing and gender bending and queerness and like being trans and like everything outside of the strict gender binary has existed for so long, has existed long before and will exist long after.
If you hear that, which I have heard so many Christians say, well, that doesn't matter, and then they bring it back to the Bible, it's like, that's fine. But if people have free will, then they get to choose what they do with their own damn lives.
Ideology is not concrete, and neither is energy. Who are you to tell me that what I'm doing is wrong when you don't know how it feels to be me? You don't know how it feels to live the life that I live. I also don't know how it feels to live your life. You don't understand my perspective? Okay, I don't understand your perspective.
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to cross-dress?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want to get in drag? Why wouldn't you want to have that little bit of self-expression? So, I don't know. For me, I can be very stubborn. I have the innate ability to antagonize people very, very easily. I've never felt the need to explain myself to people who are still bent on misunderstanding me.
Yeah, right.
When I have dealt with people asking me that sort of question in the past, it's, you know what, man, because it makes me happy and then I keep it pushing because arguing with an idiot just proves that there's two idiots.
Yes, exactly.
That's all we'll say.
Right. And this is something actually I recently have had to work with my own mind, is when you see someone online, especially online, say, hey, this is something I really care about, or this is something I'm really passionate about, there is a tendency in one's mind, if they, one, don't agree, or one, do not live a life that is similar, to say, oh my God, well, they must hate me, or that's an attack on my way of life.
Right.
And that is not it. Unless someone is coming directly up to you and saying, I'm talking about you specifically, likely they're not talking about you, especially if what they're saying doesn't apply to your life. They're not talking about you.
Exactly. My word of the year for like the past 2 years has been discernment. Of knowing when something finds its way to you, whether that be on your TikTok feed, in your mail, in a text or whatever. Looking at whatever piece of media you may be observing right now, being able to look at it critically and say, okay, was this media geared towards me? Is this something that I can find value in? Is this something that relates to me in any sort of way? People using the superpower of discernment. I think if more people are really able to like tap into that and just realize when something is geared towards them and is talking to them versus when something, you know, maybe just isn't resonating for them and then moving on. I think it would help a lot of people understand each other better if we were just able to be like, okay, you know what, this isn't for me, whoever it's for, and leave it there.
Or maybe get a little curious instead of judgmental.
Right.
Yeah, like, maybe grow that part.
That's what kind of boggles my mind. In my life, I have encountered something that I don't really understand. My very first reaction, gut instinct, is to approach it with curiosity instead of judgment. Be like, okay, maybe this is a little weird, but like, let's see what it's about.
Yeah, lean in. Lean in. Yeah.
Instead of just like, okay, this is weird, keep that far away from me. I'm also nosy. Like, curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity absolutely got me.
Listen, I went up to someone today working a station like out in my complex, and I was like, how are you doing? What's your day? Like, how's your day going? And they're like, it's fine. And I was like, how long have you been working here? Because I just want to know. I just want to know.
I'm inquisitive.
Yes.
Is the right word. Because I'm not going to judge you. I just want to know, like, what's happening. I don't really give a shit in all, but, like, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I want to be in the know.
I want to be in the kiki.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
put me in the circle.
Secrets are no fun unless I'm included in them.
Yes, exactly. Another topic that comes up is the mental health of people that do this, which is like, again, a presupposition of people that you don't understand or have never met. This is like damaging to young minds, or like, you know, people watching or people doing it obviously must be off their rocker.
Right.
How has mental health played a part in drag, and how has it affected your mental health?
Well, I mean, sorry, I'm really fighting the urge to say something smart ass, so I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead, do it.
You have to be mentally ill to do drag.
To do drag. Yeah. Amen.
Only a mentally ill person would want to do this. Like, all in all, when people are like, it's poisoning the minds of the youth. Who?
Who? What youth? Where? Yeah.
First of all, I chose to do drag because I knew that this was not going to involve children. I knew that this was going to be a majorly child-free avenue of life.
Amen.
I don't think we are indoctrinating people. I think the possibilities of life and what life can be are being broadened up to younger people. I think we in the drag community are showing not just youth, but like the culture as a whole, that there is so much more to life than the straight and narrow that you were promised. There's so much more to be gained, to be learned, to be lost from life than to marry your high school sweetheart and settle down. Like, if that's your dream, that's fine, but people should know that there's more to life than getting married at 25 and having a mortgage. People should know that if they want to globetrot around the world wearing ladies' underwear, that they can do that, if that's what they choose.
Not putting that on anybody else, but letting you be free to
exactly,
who you
like, if you happen to stumble across it and that's what speaks to you, which is what drag did for me. I stumbled across it on YouTube and it spoke to me, to my core. There shouldn't be any issue with that. I don't see any difference in a 13, 14-year-old wanting to get into drag as any different than someone trying out for their freshman football team.
Yeah, or like being in ballet,
Right,
which requires a very specific look in both of those scenarios.
But I just wish drag wasn't demonized so much, because I think if people really got down to the bare bones of realizing that drag at its core is a celebration and it's just a bunch of people having fun for their community, if people would really recognize that more instead of looking at it through like this vitriolic lens of like, this is a perversion of femininity, this is a perversion of humanity. It's really not. I think one of the most human things we could do is dress up and poke fun at the human condition.
Yeah, right. But anyways, life is so fucking hard. Okay, why are we trying to make everything so serious when it's just dress up? And also, as someone who went to a mega church and churches of all kinds up until the age of probably around 25, so much of what happens at the beginning of church, which is very much the singing and praising of Jesus and stuff, you know who orchestrates that every single time is theater nerds. Theater nerds are the people that run the visuals of a church.
Absolutely.
So if you don't like it, like,
guess what you're dealing with?
You're already doing
dealing
it.
with theater kids.
You are doing it already in your own version. Just because you want to dress differently does not make it any different in my mind.
And I mean, I also grew up in the church. My grandfather, my brothers, and I used to go spend a month each summer up in South Carolina at my grandparents' house. Down here with my parents, we went to a Baptist church. With my grandfather, we went to a Pentecostal church.
Okay, all right.
So we had people shaking the tambourine, speaking in tongues, all that.
Dancing around.
Oh, yeah. Running up and down the aisles. Like, when I tell you, it was crazy. Like,
self-expression?
He went to like a black Pentecostal church.
Okay,
so
cool.
like they go ham in the black Pentecostal church. And so I guess like my introduction to like drag and entertainment was watching the church choir up there with these ladies in their Sunday best, just hooting and hollering, praising the Lord. So my version of church is in some club on a Saturday night, twirling around to Kylie Minogue or whoever. That's where I find my God.
Yeah.
And so like for me, a lot of growing up religious had like a very big effect on me. I don't consider myself like religious anymore, but what I do say is when I feel the closest to God, the universe, the energies that be, whatever you want to call it, is when I'm out there in front of people putting smiles on their faces. I know that one of the audience members just went through a really shitty breakup, and I performed a song, and guess what I got out of them? I got them to smile. That's when I feel the closest to my other humans. That's when I feel the most human, which is kind of crazy because, like, it's when I look visually the least human is when I'm out there twirling on stage. But, like, that's when I feel the most in tune with everything, you know?
When the world kind of makes a little more sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is exactly what church is, you know? So that makes sense to me.
Like, for a lot of people, they live by the Bible because it gives them a code of morals, a code of ethics. For me, that's what drag did. Drag was the rest of my high school. Drag was my college experience. Like, I'm 22 right now. I would literally be graduating college this year. But the past 4 years, for me, have been working as a professional drag queen. So, like, for me, drag raised me. Drag is, without a shadow of a doubt, the number one reason that I am who I am today. And so I just like, regardless of your view on life, on anything, I think that there is something that each and every single drag queen could teach you, whether that be about self-love, whether that be about community, whether that be about family, health, like whatever, because within the drag community, there are so many different people that are constantly championing for things. I remember during, was it Hurricane Milton that really like messed up St.
Yeah,
Pete?
like 2 years ago, yeah.
I remember in the aftermath of that, I saw so many people, drag artists, getting together and doing benefits to help like build back people who lost everything during the hurricane.
Yeah.
And so to me, drag also showed me like my first community, and that like people really do have each other's backs, because you have 30-something drag artists getting together, putting all of their tips tips together, performing for money to give that money away to someone.
It's beautiful. It's really, I mean, I could tear up about it because everybody wants to be seen, heard, and understood. And when you go to a church system or when you're in a school where that is not your experience, I'm not saying everybody, right? But that has been the experience of many people.
Yeah.
They go to find where they are accepted and loved. And like, that's what Jesus was talking about this whole time.
Absolutely.
So.
I am a firm believer that if Jesus were to come back today and start walking on water again, I think he would thoroughly enjoy the drag clubs.
Yes.
I think he would.
Yes. He'd be turning that water into wine real fast for us. Yeah.
I firmly believe that he would be like up in the drag clubs, you know, talking to the girls, because a lot of the drag queens that you see performing, we're still the societal grifters. Like outside of the dragosphere, we're still the people that are on the fringe. We're still the weirdos. We're still the oddballs.
I can tell you from my perspective and growing up and like first hearing about drag queens for the first time and just like the hysteria that comes around these topics. I'm going to tell you in like 10 to 12 years, whoever's watching this that is like very upset with drag queens or trans people in sports and stuff like that, you're not going to know about it or care about it in 12 years because it is literally a hot topic on purpose by politicians, which, by the way, in my mind, are the Pharisees of this world.
Yep.
And Jesus was literally hanging out with prostitutes and tax collectors. It is not because he was trying to convert them. It was because he was watching the Pharisees and saying, oh my God, aren't they the worst?
Yeah.
They're literally lying pieces of shit.
He was literally
I'd rather hang out with you guys.
Having the kiki on you
Yeah.
guys, being like, y'all are losers. I'm gonna come over here and hang out with my prostitutes.
Exactly.
And we're gonna
Those
chill.
are my girls.
Exactly.
Those are my girls.
No, literally.
Yeah.
He saw Miss Mary Magdalene over there and said, oh, hey, sis.
Hey,
I'll
sis,
be
come
over
here.
there in a minute.
Sit right down. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that makes me really happy. So knowing that you love community and it means so much to you, could you explain the importance of including and uplifting local talent when it comes to these drag shows?
Absolutely. I think in recent years, especially, there has been this big push on Pride. I think the ideology behind Pride has become capitalistic.
Commercialized.
Yes. I mean, it's been happening for years where during Pride Month, you know, the companies go all like gung-ho and they change their logo to be the rainbow colors and all of this. And so I think in the push to kind of like commercialize Pride, a lot of what it has done is for like these big Pride parades or like one-off Pride events or whatever, people are focused on pulling in the big name headliners so they can sell their tickets and they can make their money. Yeah, that's great. We want to have a fantastic show. But the second that you do that, to me, it comes off as you are almost immediately forgetting what Pride is about. Pride is first and foremost for you and your local community. Pride is for your local queer community to get together and see their family and be seen in the streets en masse. That's what Pride is for. Pride is to show the politicians, like, hey, we're still here. You can't get rid of us. You can't silence us. What now?
Yeah.
And so in the push, really, and I mean, I've noticed it especially probably in the last 5 years, in the push to make these big, extravagant, excessive events, people are forgetting what is at the core of Pride. At the core of Pride, for me, is always going to be my local community, and it's going to be my local entertainment. There's nothing wrong with bringing in, like, let's say your headliner is some queen off of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah, she gets her
But
flowers, yeah.
when it's the girl from Drag Race, and then the musician from New York City, and then also this person, and then also this person, and also this person, well, none of these people are local anymore.
Yeah, they've made it already.
Right.
Yeah.
They've made it. Like, having one or two of those people, like, let's say we have the Rue Girl and the musician or whatever. Okay, different story, because then it's a variety show. We're giving something that all of the people in the community can enjoy. But when it's just all of these big names, these are people who have never heard of Sarasota before.
Yeah.
The only reason that they've heard of Sarasota is because it was the name that was on their flight.
Yeah, right. They don't have any connection to the town.
They don't have any stakes here.
Yeah.
But who does have stakes? I do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of stakes here.
Right.
This is where I was born and raised. Like, I care so much about my city and my community that when I or my drag sisters or people who are kind of like in similar realms as I am, when we're ignored, it feels like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
It's almost like you
say you care.
You say you
Yeah.
care, then
Yeah.
you treat us differently. And then you want to have all of these like super heartwarming pride events, but you're shunning your local community. Drag queens are the pillar of the queer community. It doesn't matter if you're in France, it doesn't matter if you're down in Brazil, like whatever sort of like city you go to, if there is a queer community and there is drag in any form, your drag queens are going to be the pillar of your queer community.
Right,
so when you're
because they bring the people together for
Exactly.
the events.
And then when you just forget them, well,
Yeah, that's
what
not
now?
community. Yeah, well,
because that's automatically alienating the local performers, but that's also alienating your audience. Just from like a business standpoint, I would be more likely to say, hey, all of these people that are like from around this area, don't I think if I had like local names that they knew and enjoyed, don't you think that would be a better seller than the musician from where the
Right.
fuck ever that no one's ever heard of?
Right.
I don't know.
Also, when you live in town, you're like, let me get my like cousin to come, and then my best friend. Like,
Right.
you're trying to get people
Word of
involved.
mouth. Like,
yeah.
everyone and their mom is going to show up.
Yeah. Well, that just goes to show too, like if we only did things when they were popular, which right now drag in like multimedia spaces is like always nichely going
Yeah.
to be appreciated, but at large, it has become an issue, right? For certain people, if we only did it when it was popular, it would fizzle out so quickly. It
Absolutely.
would fizzle out so quick.
Drag and like cross-dressing and playing with gender has existed for like such a long time in so many like different cultures, and yeah.
Yeah, it's not going on anywhere, so you might as well enjoy the local
Exactly.
talent that's there and
Exactly.
try and help them move
Because
up.
guess what? This local talent someday are going to be the next RuPaul's,
Yeah.
the next Trixie Mattel's. We're going to be on RuPaul's Drag Race one day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, you have someone like Doechii who's world renowned, came from Tampa.
Literally
we
came
didn't know
from
who she
Tampa.
was 5 years ago.
one of the performers that I've worked with up in Orlando literally went to high school with
Yeah.
Doechii.
Yeah.
Was in the Alter Ego music video. Shout out to you, Allegra. I love you, baddie.
But you just don't know. Yeah.
No.
So how are
At
you
all.
going to help propel someone if they never have an opportunity?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
like, I don't know, maybe this is just me being like a little bit of a clout chaser. I would much rather be able to be like, oh yeah, I knew this person when they were just starting. Like, look at these pictures that I have. Versus,
Everybody-
oh wait, you just got on Drag Race.
Yeah.
Let me try and like blow smoke up your butt now.
Right,
It's
yeah.
like you weren't.
Also, like the Nippo babies already have it. Hell or high water, they're gonna be fine.
Exactly.
They're gonna be okay. So you might as well include the local talent.
Exactly. Give your money to a local drag queen in need. I will gladly take it. And I will work for it. I won't do it for free. It's
Get your
okay.
dollars or your $100 out and come to a show.
Exactly.
Speaking of shows, I was wondering for anyone who hasn't been to a drag show and is nervous maybe to try, what's your pitch for coming to see a live show?
Ooh, are we talking about like just any drag show in general? Like if it was like drag queen 1, 2, and 3, like I'm supposed to pitch, or is it like
Let's
if
just
you
say,
were to
like,
come to a Dakota drag show?
Yes, but let's say like pitch to someone like what's it going to be like? What can they expect? Like
Oh, yeah,
to make it a little less like mystifying.
There's so many different ways that I could explain it, so I would probably try and keep it as short as possible.
Well, how about let's do what can you expect for maybe a general drag show and then one that has you involved in it?
I would say at a general drag show, the things that you can always count on are you can always count on booze. So you'll have some liquid courage. If you're feeling a little nervous, take a drink, your inhibitions will be gone. There's always going to be booze. It's always going to be a good party time. Everyone's there to have fun at the end of the day. Yeah, I would say, and like, it's so much closer to live theater than you are anticipating.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it is so much closer to, like, going and watching a Broadway show than you're thinking in your mind. They're very similar. Granted, they have their differences, but, like, I would say it's like going to a cabaret show.
Okay, fun. Yeah. And who wouldn't want
Yeah.
that?
It's like going to a cabaret show, going to a burlesque show. That's about, I would say they're pretty comparable.
Okay. And speaking of burlesque, what is it like seeing Dakota Del Rey out on stage?
I would definitely say, like, when Dakota's out on stage, you're going to get a lot of sex. I'm probably going to be a whore on stage.
Amen.
It's unfortunate. But is it? Who knows? I don't know. I just like being very, like, provocative on stage. Like, I like watching people's jaws drops and their eyes widen. Like, it's just cool. I'll be provocative. I'll be stupid and silly. I'm almost always going to be wearing, like, a really, like, fashion-forward, clean drag outfit.
Well, defined is what I would say about you. You know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I think that is something that I have really, like, clued in on for me is, like, I am very particular about what I like and what I don't like in drag, the way that I like to look. Coming to a Dakota show, this is more so, like, backstage, and if you catch me, like, when I'm not performing, I'm very professional. I'm always going to make sure I say hi to the people, because this even comes to me as a show host. It's my job to bring in the cast of entertainers and make them feel at home and answer their questions. So whenever I am able to kind of like take the edge off for people, I really like that. Especially because people wouldn't expect me to be the one that would like take the edge off, because they see like this tall, skinny, beautiful lady and they're like, oh, she's intimidating. And then you just kind of realize I'm just really quiet.
You're just a southern sweetie.
I really
Yeah.
am. I'm just kind of quiet. I stick to myself a lot. But like, if you need absolutely anything, I'm always here. I would say provocative, professional,
Jaw-dropping.
Jaw-dropping.
That's two, but I don't care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jaw-dropping, spectacular,
Spectacular.
amazing. Exactly.
Sultry, sexy. What else could you want?
Exactly.
Have you ever done the Fergie on stage, you know, going, ha? As she does a somersault, I'm waiting.
So here's the thing. I've wanted to do that for such a long time. I'm being so genuine right now.
Yeah, I know.
I have wanted to do that for so long. I think it would be insane. I specifically would want to do it on a stage that has a really long catwalk. So I can do cartwheels down the entire thing.
Yeah.
And I would just make it
You
go
from
like,
every angle.
unfortunately long.
Yeah.
Like I would make it go all the way down and then I start doing cartwheels like back up the stage, just like.
I already have an outfit for you in my mind. I love ABBA, and there is the outfit where they have like the purple, like sort of silvery, shiny
Yes, I
jumpsuit.
know
So
what you're
you would be
talking about.
covered, you would be fine,
yeah.
and you'd look sleek as hell.
You know
so.
what? I think I might have to make this happen.
Please.
I'll do it just for you.
That's my dream. It's my dream. Okay, I'm so glad. Dakota, I know Florida couldn't have been an easy place for you to grow up as a kid who was queer and in a religious community. So what do you say to the people who disapprove of you, no matter how absolutely stunning and iconic you are?
To the haters, I just have to say, keep on hating. It makes me skinnier. In all honesty, spite is the biggest thing that like really kind of fuels me. I love it when people underestimate me. I like it when people don't take me seriously, especially because like with my drag persona, on first glance, she's very like the ditzy, bubbly blonde. But then I think you really have to like get to know me and like spend time with me to really understand that I'm a very witty person. I love it when people doubt me because it gives me a reason to prove them wrong. I've always been like that. Like growing up, if my brothers ever told me that I couldn't do something, guess what I was about to go and do? That exact thing that they told me I couldn't do. I do get underestimated quite frequently because a lot of times people like to discount the tall, pretty, skinny girl who shows a lot of body. They like to think that it doesn't take a lot of effort. And they've never done it, which is why they don't understand. It takes a lot of effort to be like as naked as I am on stage. My number one kind of like fuel source for my drag, other than my love for drag and my love for my community, is my love for proving people wrong. Yeah.
I think that's beautiful because there's always going to be a naysayer out there, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All I have to say is, are you going to be a supporter or are you going to be just another number that I proved wrong?
Yeah. Which side do you want to be on?
Exactly, because it's not going to matter to me either way. Your support will be very much thanked, If you're a hater, whatever. I don't care. I have better things to do with my life than worry about your opinion. I have to worry about my opinion.
Right, because you're not out there trying to control anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Isn't that the most free you could feel?
Exactly.
Yes. Join the club. Come on. Be free with us.
Exactly. Have
Just
fun.
do it.
It's fun over here.
It's fun over here. Come on, sit on down. There's room on this Chase lounge for more.
This Chase is very, very comfortable, just in case you were wondering.
So I need to know what you think the future is for Dakota Del Rey.
Ooh. Absolutely Drag Race. I've told myself that I want to win the show by the time that I'm 25. That has been like a goal, and like that specific age has been a fixture in my life for years now. Like, I have just always said, like, I want to win by the time that I'm 25. So hopefully within these next few years, manifesting it now, that I'll get on Drag Race. My dream season is season 20.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, then after that, I mean, even if winning doesn't happen, or even if Drag Race itself doesn't happen, on the off chance that it wouldn't, like, I don't know, I feel like I've just been, like, banking on it too long for it. Like, there's no possibility in my there's no future in my head that is not
included.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I would love to start my own makeup line one day. I've always loved makeup. I love trying new products. I love experimenting. I already do wig commissions. Like, I'm a wig stylist. I style a lot of wigs for other entertainers. I do all the wigs that go on my head. And so, like, I would love to start, like, a wig line one day.
Yes.
I'd also love to do, like, headline a solo tour all the way, like, across Europe and America. Like, I have the fantastic idea of doing, like, a complete, like, solo burlesque tour.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, and so, like, my own little, like, Dita Von Teese type thing. I would love to do a solo burlesque tour. I'd love to do a solo comedy tour. I think that's kind of, like, one of the bigger things that gets overlooked in my drag is, like, I don't present myself as a very, like, funny person, but I think my sense of humor is very dry. I think my sense of humor is, like, very witty as well. It's kind of, like, highbrow, so, like, it's not the kind of, like, poke fun, like, haha, hee hee, goofy, but, like, I think I have a very specific type of humor, but I do think it would relate itself very well to, like, stand-up or something like that.
So you got avenues on all places.
Yes. My interests have always been all over.
Yeah, like, me too.
I want to do a little bit of everything because I don't know. I've never wanted to be the one-trick pony.
Yeah. Well, isn't life just fantastic that way? I mean, you're still so young, and to think if we were both lucky enough, the decades that continue, you learn more skills, you get to, like, as I like to say, it's like unlocking a new level in life, you know? And there is time for that, and as time goes on too, you're just gonna learn more and become more like of a, you know, a sharp tool. So I'm so excited for you. And I have to tell you, my big plan is in the next few months to get a group together to come see you specifically perform.
I would love that.
I would love to do that because I actually have this little camcorder I bought over there and I'm starting to do little videos and stuff. So
I would love that so much.
Yes, so I will see what group I can get together. We're gonna pencil it in. I have a couple cool people that might be able to come. Regardless, it would be a fantastic time.
Sounds good.
And then we'll put the video at the end is what I was thinking we would do. Okay,
so good.
Cool.
We have our new venue, the Dingbat Theater. It's this really cute theater. It's all, like, queer owned. But yeah, so Sonia and I actually got our A Final Girls production drag show started there. Sarasota has a very great queer community. Sarasota does not have a very big drag community.
Right, okay.
So since I've started performing in drag, like, from the first time that I, like, got on a stage in drag, I've always been creating my own opportunities, which is something that I really enjoy. I like being the trailblazer. I like being I also love being in charge. Like,
yes.
I found that I am a very, very good leader. I love being in charge. I love being the one that gets to be like, okay, so we're gonna do this, we're not gonna do this, let me know y'all's ideas, like, let's brainstorm. I'm really, really hoping our shows at Dingbat end up turning into something that's, like, the next big thing, kind of. Like, I have a lot of faith in them, and we work really well together, and they're super cool, so I'm just really hoping everything
And
takes
it will.
off.
It will. Well, something you already got in your mind's eye is that you've accepted the reality in your mind first, which is the first place it needs to become a reality. So
Absolutely.
I see great things for you too.
you.
Now, can you tell the crowd where they can find you online?
You can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, especially at the Dakota Del Rey, THE, and then DAKOTADELREY.
And I'll put it up on the screen somewhere beautifully right here.
Perfect.
So,
Thank you.
all right. Well, we've done it.
We've done it.
Happy Pride, whenever
Happy
this comes out.
Pride.
Probably Pride. We'll find out. Pride is still happening whether you wanted to or not. Okay. All right. There we go.
So much fun.
Thank you
Oh
for
my
doing
goodness.
this. Oh, look, and the camera always finds her.
Go back.
We're back. Secrets are no fun. You see it. Okay, let's see what time is it. We're awesome.
Here we go again. Having another great part.
Blondes.
Literally completely. What would I want to say to the haters? Keep hating, it just makes me skinnier.